Welcome back, Troglodytes, to another episode of Trogly's Guitars. Today we have a 1985 Gibson Les Paul Studio. Now, if you saw that other video of the Studio Standard and Studio Custom, this is the baseline Studio model from, I believe, the third year of production. This one's made in 1985. The Gibson Les Paul Studio was first introduced in 1983, predated by a few different models that were similar, but this is the first time that it bared the Studio name, and they kept that name all the way through today yet. So this is, one of your first iterations of the Les Paul Studio, and I believe this is called Ferrari Red. There's quite a few different red Gibson finishes out there. There's Candy Apple Red, which has a gold or a silver base coat before they put the red on. On this one, you can see it has a white base coat, so I think that kind of makes this red, slightly orangish color known as Ferrari Red. So this is a first iteration Les Paul Studio. There's kind of conflicting information out there as to ebony or rosewood fretboards. This one looks like ebony. Because of the side profile view, I think it's just a very dark rosewood. But I've seen some that do have ebony, so I'm not sure if there are certain, runs that got the ebony or not. But that is how it is. So this one has replaced DiMarzio pickups in it. I believe it's a PAF and a Super Distortion. It's had swapped out plastics, but for the most part, it's a player's guitar. You have new tuners on it as well. They're Grovers, but this is a fantastic player. So let's go ahead and take a look at the condition. The face of the headstock shows plenty of wear and tear, but nothing too incredibly bad. You can kind of see where the wings were joined to the body. You have some lines, but it's not like separating or anything like that. But you've just got, your average wear and tear. Once again, replaced tuners. There were some areas of chipped finish kind of around the new washers. I kind of touched those up, so it wasn't so much of an eyesore. Original Studio truss rod cover. Truss rod works just fine. Original nut yet. And once again, I'm going to call this a very dark rosewood fretboard. The frets do show some very minor wear and tear, but still have, a decent amount of meat left on them. I mean, this is a really nice playing guitar. The body does show some very light wear and tear. We'll kind of go over it here. You can see there's a small ding there, and something to note is right here, the finish is worn a little bit, so that white undercoat is showing. But you've got lots of light nicks and dings overall. I mean, this is definitely a player's guitar, not a collector's 83 Studio, or 85, but I don't think anybody's really collecting the Studio models unless they just want one of each like I kind of did. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a Studio Standard to do a proper comparison video, but I did get the Custom and Studio at the same time. You can see quite a bit of edge wear on these sides. And the bottom strap pin here has been drilled and doweled back in and put back in because it became weak as they replaced these with looks like a Fender style strap lock. So just your average wear and tear around the body. Onto the back of the headstock, you can see where the original Schaller Gibson tuners were. It's been updated with Grover tuners, which are fairly recent. They're definitely good at holding tune, probably better than the other ones. Serial number 82255609. Got some top of the headstock wear and some light edge wear, but I mean, overall, this is definitely a player's guitar, but it's not abused by any means. Beautiful 60s profile neck. You've got some wear on the treble side of the neck that kind of goes through to the white coat. Some light indentations on the neck, and especially right here, that's kind of a pretty good sized ding. I'm guessing somebody was wearing like a ring one day and slid up and tink, made a little ding there. But I mean, the back isn't too chewed up. I mean, you've got some marks kind of in the center there, but overall, I mean, it's a player's guitar. If you're in the market for a Studio, I would definitely suggest one of these original ones, because you can say you've got a vintage guitar, but these really aren't too much more expensive than a modern day Studio if they don't have the original electronics. If you've got the original Tim Shaws in there, these things are quite pricey, but since this one still has good pickups, vintage double creams, they can sell for probably about $200 on their own. So so you can put whatever pickup in that you want. But I really kind of dig the double cream with the Ferrari red vibe. Take a look under black light, you can see the few areas that I had touched up there, kind of on the sides, and the wear and tear around the edges, and by the washers. But no breaks, cracks, or repairs. Fretboard's good. You can see the front finish here. That's kind of where the clear coat and some of the finish was worn away to kind of reveal some of that white. And some light nicks and dings. Non-original knobs. I can't remember if these came stock with pick guards or not. I'm guessing that's a replaced pick guard. And it does kind of have a crack right there in the pick guard. Top of the headstock, you know, shows you some very light wear and tear. Once again, the extra holes from those other tuners, but no breaks, cracks, or repairs in the headstock, which is what we're here for. But you can definitely see the finish wear on the side of the neck under black light a lot better. And some dings around the edges. But, I mean, it's a very nice playing guitar. I mean, it's not trashed. It's got enough of a vintage vibe and kind of a cool color that you don't see on a lot of studios. Who doesn't want to say, yeah, I got a Ferrari red custom? A Ferrari red studio, I guess. One thing I did forget to mention is somebody did put like their initials in it. It looks like a GH. They kind of just inscribed them there. We'll see that in normal lighting. I guess it's GM. This is your grandma's guitar. This one weighs 8 pounds, 15.3 ounces. For the clean tones, we'll be running through a Gibson Super Gold Tone GA30RV. For distorted tones, we'll be running through a Marshall JMP1C. If you think you might be interested in owning this 1985 Gibson Les Paul Studio in Ferrari Red, feel free to contact me on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Troglys, Troglys. You can also check out the Reverb and eBay listings. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you Troglodytes next time. Take care.